But I want to start off by thanking everyone that's here tonight. You know, it's really important that you all showed up, like you have been constantly showing up to all the public meetings that have been happening this month. So thank you for being here and for your support. And I want to give a quick thanks to our sponsors, Alex Huerca. And we also have another sponsor, but they're out of town, but they're called the Team Everhart. So they helped me refinance one of my properties that I had lost hope on. So that's why I wanted them to sponsor this event, because I know how hardworking and important it was for me to get refinanced. But so I just wanted to come here. I wanted to, invite you all to my space. We actually have been hosting a couple of mixers last year. That's how I met Sabrina and Christian. That's how I met a couple of you, where I invited you all to start doing this community and start building this community. And, at the end of the day, it's sad that because of the city, what they're trying to do, and they're trying to get money from us and taxes, that's why we're all here today. But I'm very thankful that I got to meet, beautiful people, and that you're all willing to join this community that we have and continue to be together and be strong together. I think that's why it's very important to understand that if we stick together, like, it's gonna be okay. Because at the beginning I was freaking out. It was kind of like I felt I was one against the world, and I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on, and I had never been in a position where I had to go against the city, or I was always minding my own business, and I didn't really have to go against the city. But thankfully, Gapar, Ernesto, he came on board. And, he made me feel better. So, all of our Gapar, our realtors that are here tonight, thank you also, because it's because of people like you that started supporting the cause. And now that we have, an actual short-term rental community that we can show our numbers to the city representatives, I think that's what we have. Regardless of what they're saying, regardless of what they're trying to do, if we stick together, and I really believe this, is that we stick together and we continue to email our city reps, and we continue to, voice our concerns, then we can find a solution to what's happening. So I want to thank everyone here. And, just a quick update. I'm going to talk a little bad about someone. So you're all here because, I did say it's an Airbnb mixer. That's why we have drinks by the Mixing House. But I also wanted to update on the community meetings. So this past few meetings that we had, I feel that Monday's meeting was very hard on us because of the representative. So Representative Anelo, we knew that she had already made up her mind. We knew that she was coming after us, but we thought it was coming after us because of a safety issue. And we have diligently tried to make the neighborhood feel safe, and we have gone, all the way fixing any sort of issue that, I think we've only had like 5 people come to the meetings and voice, their complaint. So every single time, not just me, but other people here have actually come to the person that's complaining and asked, like, hey, well, what's happening? Like, how can we help you? And every single time we get it solved. So I feel that now, because we're solving this very minimal issues, well, let's not look at the safety portion. Now, Anelo, she stated on the El Paso Times, is that, oh, well, if they're a business, let's tax them as a business. So it now continues to be a battle about, okay, we solved the safety issue. There's really no safety issue, right? We continue to say that, we're doing what we can to solve any sort of party going on or any crime or anything that's happening. But when they start coming after us time and time again, then, something's going to happen. So it's a matter of when. And that's why it's important that we continue to stick together and that we continue to show up and to have this community, because we just have to always keep pushing them and delaying whatever they think that it's going to come to El Paso. So just, keep keep pushing, keep showing up. And, that's why I'm mentioning what Anelo's saying, because it feels like now they're changing what they're coming after us. And now we have to prepare for a different thing, because they see that we're able to fix the safety concerns. So now, okay, well, then this is the issue now. And we have to find a way to continue to delay whatever they're thinking of bringing to us. And, I want to thank you all for supporting us and for always being there. I think it's very important. And I feel the love. I really do. I feel the love from all of you. And I think that's it. I love you all. So I know that there's a couple of people here that haven't been to the meetings. So that's why I wanted to do this, mixture, like, so that people that are not aware, like you guys, of what's going on, we can actually, give you that information. And I actually have the QR of the survey if anyone wants to do the survey for the city, so that you guys continue to say that you're opposed to short-term rentals having regulations. And that's something that, we have to continue to push. I'm actually, I feel sometimes, I don't know if I should do the survey or not. I know that there's a couple of us that feel that way. It's like, should we do the survey, or, shouldn't we do the survey? Because it feels like it might be, it might come back to us and haunt us, But I'm trying to get people that are not hosts like yourselves, that are actually constituents, to do the survey, because that's the only way that the actual city reps can hear you. So if you email them and if you make the survey and you say, hey, I'm not even in the business, I'm not even an Airbnb host, like, I'm just a concerned constituent that you're trying to tax these people, that we're bringing so many things and so many great things to El Paso. So I think that's why, I do have the QR with me. So if anyone wants to do the survey, please let me know. And if you guys have any questions while you're here, let us know. Yes.
Heidi, thank you so much for all of your advocacy, your passion. It's been extremely energizing for everybody and helpful. But I do think there needs to be a strategy, and I think that everybody here needs to know when the next meeting is.
Oh, yes.
Because Representative Salcedo's meeting was an all virtual.
Yes.
And so those were dropped, and I completely se me pasó. And then today, you sent me a little reminder on today's. And so I think it's important, because everybody here needs to know that, because Representative Hernandez is not with us. And so that room needs to be overflowed.
Yes.
And the realtors have been great partners. I want to thank them for your leadership, and hopefully the state takes a progressive issue with us, hopefully. But you do need to let them know how important that meeting is with Cassandra, and then Representative Hernandez, and the next one is
March 2nd with Canales. So let me do that quick, because we are live. So March 1st, we do have Representative Hernandez meeting. It's at 5 p.m. at the lunch box. And oh, I don't know where. So yeah, okay. Oh, there's two. Okay. It's Butner? Putner. Oh, Bugner. Okay. So then let me go again, because I'm live. So for March 1st at the lunchbox on Buckner and Montana, at 5 p.m. we're going to be meeting. The public meeting is it's hosted by Representative Hernandez. And yes, she is not with us. She is very for this ordinance. And the issue that she brought up, and that's why, now it's very important that we understand where they're going to maybe change. It's because initially it was about safety. They were bringing up the crimes that had happened at some of the short-term rentals. They were trying to get us to, there's noise ordinance, there's parties going on. So she has been very vocal to a lot of us that's her main concern, that she's worried about the safety of the people of El Paso, and that's why she's going, to support this ordinance. So we have to show up in numbers like we have done before, especially I would say that at Molinara we had about 80 people show up, and we have to continue to do that. So if you all can put it in your schedule for March 1st at 5 p.m. To show up to Representative Hernandez. Now, another meeting, this is gonna be the last meeting, March 2nd, and this is gonna be with Representative Canales. And if you are part of Representative Canales' district, you will know that he's super MIA. He does not answer your emails. He does not answer your phone calls. He is never there. Either he's always sick or something's happening or he's elsewhere. So it's very important that, if he's gonna be present for March 2nd at 6 p.m., I don't know where it is. Yeah. At the senior center around here in downtown, right? In el segundo barrio? So March 2nd. Yes. So March 2nd, we're gonna have the Representative Canales hosting his meeting at 6 p.m. at the senior center by Segundo Barrio. And because we've seen how he hasn't really been involved and he's not answering anyone, he's, very, again, MIA on this issue, then that's gonna be our opportunity to actually get him to face us. Because he has been hiding behind his computer, he has been hiding behind, his office, that he doesn't have a staff or this or that. So now it's the time to show up to this meeting and to let him know what we think and what we actually, that we don't deserve any sort of permits, no regulations, no taxes, no hotel tax, no business tax, no zoning restrictions, no density limitations. I mean, the list goes on and on and on because they're just trying to slap something onto us right now. So we have to show up for those two meetings. I think they're very important meetings with Representative Hernandez and Representative Canales, so that we're not gonna waive them. I do know this. We're not gonna waive them into coming on our side. But I do believe that if we all show up saying, hey, we don't want this, then if they decide to go against what the feedback says, we do have proof so that we can later come back at them. Especially when real election time comes in, then, we'll know what to do then. So, anything else? Yes.
We're talking about the feedback and to show up to the meetings and attend the meetings. That is great, but we need to make sure that your 1,800, 1,500, 1,000 short-term rental owners register to vote and vote the day of elections.
Oh, that's what you're
talking about. That's where they're going to feel and see that you guys have power. With the realtors, they know we have a high voting association. So they're paying a little bit of attention, but if you merge 3,000 realtors with 1,000 short-term renter owners, they're really going to pay attention if they see that 4,000 people voted against them or campaigned against them. Next time, they're going to pay attention to what they're doing, and they're going to take your feedback before they win. So that's very, very important. So you can let everyone know, please emphasize, register to vote and go out and vote.
Yes, so, okay.
Norma Chavez and myself used to be in public office. And those calls, those emails, those texts make a difference. Okay, so we need to ensure that when it's going up for a vote, and even before it's going up for a vote, that we call, text, and we email. It is very, very important. Okay, because one of the things that they're saying is that we, like Anelo, we received a lot of calls. Okay, really? Against the short rental community? Okay, we need to open record of that.
And we asked for that today.
Have we officially asked for it?
It's being worked on.
Okay, so we need to open record of that. We need to ensure that all of us do the phone call, the text, and the email. Okay, because a lot of the city reps you know, will provide you a tax, the tax number you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for what you want, ain't gonna be enough.
I wanted to say something about the meeting with the center. Is anybody here in her?
Yes.
Just wanna see how that is going. Because it is gonna be also the Spanish one.
Oh, yeah.
So I am going to, I'm asking everybody, I know, I'm calling all my guests, are you going to speak even on the phone? I'm gonna bring my mom, I'm gonna bring the lady that helps me clean, I'm gonna bring, who's gonna bring a lady that wants to start her own Airbnb, she only speaks Spanish, I'm gonna bring everybody, so it doesn't have to be just that business, but,
Exactly.
just bring everybody, even on the phone. Say, are you willing to speak on the phone? I know just, I think Heidi gave me the idea when she was in the meeting. It's like, yeah, I can bring all the people we want on the phone, even if they're not in town. And then also too, this morning we had a meeting with the
Apartment association.
Farm Association, and somebody brought up, hey, if you want to go to the police report and get a record on the address, I'm thinking even to do that with Cassandra, hey, listen, this is what shows. Because she's safety, right, driven. But if you're in the district, maybe do that and just say, hey, I don't have anything, just so you know. Just some ideas, but yeah, bring anybody that's Spanish.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, for March 1st, there will be a Spanish translator for this meeting with Hernandez. And I think it's the only one that they have offered a Spanish translator. So yes, please bring everyone that speaks Spanish and that hasn't been able to show up so they can actually, speak at this meeting. And continue to email your city reps, continue to call them, continue to text them. But yes, it's very important that we all register to vote and that there's gonna be a new voting March 6th. Now, I'm happy that you reminded me about this because May 6th, yeah. So May 6th, we have to go, everyone, we have to go out and vote because there's also another thing that's gonna happen where there's this charter trying to implement solar into El Paso. And if we don't understand the wording, which is what we continue to say to, the representatives, like people, most of the time when they go out and vote, they don't understand what they're voting for. They end up voting yes, and guess what? That increases our taxes. And this is gonna be in the ballot May 6th. This eco-friendly, this, let's go solar El Paso. And if we vote yes on that, our property taxes are gonna go up the roof once again. So we have to make sure that we are, that we actually register to vote, that we start showing up to vote, and that, I'm also gonna be emailing everyone, that's in that mailing list. I'm gonna continue to email that information as well, because a lot of times we're tricked into voting for something that we do not know the result for. And that's why it's important that we do show up to vote, but that we understand what we are voting for at the same time. And the same thing, it's gonna happen, to us, where if we don't continue to show up and we don't continue to email and call and text our city representatives, then they're gonna forget that we're here. And they're just gonna wait. They're just gonna wait until we forget and we just, they already forgot about this. And then they're gonna come back. So it's gonna be, this cycle. And that's why it's important that we don't, we don't forget to do those things.
One more thing, I believe it, Representative Hernandez and Mr. Hernandez, thank you, that we need to that we ask for a meeting after the open records request, because Laura said that it would take approximately 10 days to get open records, all the information back. And we're talking about PD, fire department, planning department, all the different departments, plus the city reps, plus the mayor. And then we need to be time specific. So we have to give them, I think they have 10 days to come up with that. When they have that information, I think that since we've been to so many meetings, that we ask for a meeting for them to give us the report so that we know what our battle is. Because I believe that it's not going to be as detrimental as they say. And they have to go and be honest and tell us, we want your taxes because we can't pay for the ballpark. You know what I'm saying? Or we can't pay our debt service. And so they're putting that monkey on our backs for no reason other than they want money to balance the budget with our taxes. So we need to bring that up Wednesday and Thursday
Yes, okay.
to both.
Also, Heidi, I think that one of the things that we need to provide the group here is the phone numbers, the emails, both if we have their mobile and if we have their office number and their email. That way all of us have the list and we're not having to go to the websites or anything like that. We can quickly utilize this and, I can talk to my little group of friends that I have and say, hey, can you email to them? Can you send them a text? Can you send them a call? And it's just a little sheet and we can provide it to all the group here and to any of our friends, that are friends of short-term rentals. Okay, for our next meeting.
Can you work on it?
Yes,
Emails and phone numbers?
Yeah.
Or fax?
yes.
Some of them have faxes and there's nothing.
It's like, who uses fax, right? No, but yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that we're missing, yeah. I think the only thing that we're missing, it's actually their mobile numbers, but we do have already all the emails. Some we do have their personal email, and then we also have their phone numbers, like their office phone numbers. But I think if we could just find their actual mobile numbers, that way we can text them. I know you have Salcido's. I know that we're able to get everyone's. No, him. But yeah, you should have all the numbers. Yeah. So.
I use Morse code for
Heidi, I have maybe also something easier and simpler is just to have a group WhatsApp chat. That way we include more people in that.
You're not in it.
I'm not. I'm not in a different group.
Shut up, Alex. That's a VIP WhatsApp.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation of what's up chat.
And expand it.
I think the only thing that we haven't been, so that's gonna be, we're gonna send out an email to the mailing list that we have, and then to all the emails that we got tonight, and then we'll request your number because we haven't been collecting phone numbers. We've only been collecting emails. So if you guys feel comfortable about sharing and when you reply all, you're not replying to everyone. Okay, so just so you know that you're only replying to me and to Sabrina. So don't feel like, oh, everybody's gonna get my number here. Yes. You don't have a mic.
I know that you met with, Airbnb mom, right?
Yes.
Where do they stand? Obviously, they know that we're going through something like this.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So, when I spoke to them about what's going on in El Paso, do they have some kind of representative also that could help us fight this?
We're working with Heidy to bring in their governmental affairs director from the Airbnb in Austin.
Okay.
The problem is it's state legislation time, so you're not getting anyone from Austin meeting much. So that's the reason we may not be able to make it. We're trying really hard to get him to come over, and he's giving us the resources, the tools that we need right now. Austin is a way different story to what I can tell you about where people have registered. And the scary thing, just so you guys, if you looked up, there's a couple of things going on in Texas. Grapevine is still going to lawsuits. Fort Worth on the 14th, on Valentine's Day, voted to have their STR ordinance in place. And it's very scary when you read about what they have to do. There's a lot of things there that are just, I mean, I know that, in Fort Worth, and it was split more than it is here. Here it's overwhelming one way. There it's split. So the city council decided to do it, and if you just Google Fort Worth STR and see what everyone has to do, they can only have up to 12 people. There is the zoning ordinance, there's the requirements. And the Airbnb governmental affairs guy in Austin working on that. But I think over on Fort Worth, they're doing that. We just theirs.
Yes.
It's $100 and $150 they want.
And I know Norma has one in Austin, so she just finished up, registering for her.
It's the tax is $11.25. It's also $418 annually. And as it's been brought up in reference to they don't have the staff to manage, the registration. The example for myself is my license is due on the 2nd, to get a license to operate. And they said it's between 8 and 10 weeks before we'll get them because of the staffing problem. So for 8 to 10 weeks, my license is
Pending.
limbo, but I have my other license. You have to post your license on the property. And so, they do come and do a walkthrough on the property. So yes, there's definitely, an issue. And why I'm involved is I helped, Carlos to start a couple of his properties. And I told him what a great community it is to be a part of and how better they take care of our homes, guests do versus renters. So it is relevant.
So real quick, Fort Worth, short-term rentals were allowed by zoning to register. The annual registration fee, $150 for the initial year, $100 per year for renewals. Registrations will be non-transferable. Collection of hotel occupancy tax for the property. Minimum stay is 1 night. A local responsible party must be available 24/7 to respond to concerns of the property. The local responsible party may be the property owner or an operator working on the behalf of the owner. No more than one group will be allowed to inhabit the property at time. Rentals will be limited to 2 per bedroom, plus 2 additional persons with a maximum of 12 people staying in the property at one time. Only on-premises parking will be allowed. No events and parties will be allowed. The host will be required to provide instructions to comply with noise, trash, parking, and curfew ordinances. Advertising and operation of short-term rentals without registration will be prohibited. Registration may be revoked based on violations.
So that's for Fort Worth, and that just went through.
After they passed the city ordinance, the zoning, more than 500 Airbnbs or short-term rentals were not allowed or were already not in compliance because they were not on the zoning code. So all these that they're giving us in the presentation, that they're not doing any restrictions and no fees and no registration, but it's just going to be the
Code, the definition.
zoning code. That's going to open the door to put all the restrictions that they want once they have zoning code. So that's why I've been mentioning we don't want for you to put a code to the short-term rentals, because that just gonna open, and maybe they don't do it right away, but in a year, 2 years, they're gonna come back with all those restrictions that they wanted since the beginning. So.
And their definition, just because it says short-term rentals are residential properties available for rent for guest lodging for a period ranging from 1 to 29 days.
And so that's one thing that has been continuously, Kevin Smith has been brought up during every meeting. He continues to say, well, we might just need to define short-term rentals. We might just need to update the code because that's how he sounds to me. You know, it's like, well, no, like trying to make it seem like it's not bad that we just update the code because we're considered bed and breakfast at the moment. He just wants us to update the code, and he just wants us to do a definition. And last time we did ask him, hey, well, tell us, if we give the definition, what is the result of that? If by giving this definition, are we going to get taxed? Are we giving you permission to tax us because we're allowing you to put a definition on short-term rentals? So that's why it's.
You have a property, and then you have a separate unit on the back. On your taxes, because it is, let's say it's your main residence, you have the homestead exemption. Now, if you have that property on the back and they register the whole property as short-term rentals,
you're losing the homestead.
You're losing the homestead exemption already, because the whole is unless they subdivide or something like that, but it's not possible. So they're going to tax you as a non-occupant or not homeowner occupant of that property. So your taxes are going to be much, much higher. Right now, if you have the homestead exemption, even if next year your property value goes up or the taxes go up or whatever, there is a cap that protects you for being a homeowner. If you don't have the homestead exemption, your taxes are what they are. You're not getting any breaks. You're not getting any exemptions.
So you're gonna be taxed at the highest tax
Percentage.
bracket, I guess,
Mhm.
yeah.
And if that's when I just discussed what's happened in Austin also is all of the people who have gone underground, which is what's going to happen too. People obviously need this extra income. They've found a business, a niche that, they can work. And so all of a sudden, you're going to have a lot of underground, unregistered STRs, in the community. And they're going to have a harder time because they'll be the good actors that register and the ones that don't. So it's an issue because that's happened in Austin, as you said.
Any other questions or comments?
How do you guys think we can get more people involved? Because I know in Heidi's group, there's about 280, something like that,
I think we're over 300 now,
or
but yeah.
300 people. And then there's another group with over 1,000 people, 1,500 people. And sometimes it's hard to even get a comment and people to respond. And do you guys have any idea how we can get, I don't even know if they're active hosts or if they're,
One thing that you can do is show them what they're making right now or what they're not paying right now.
And what they're
How
gonna,
much they're gonna pay if it's taking taxes. So that I can tell you in a regular house, let's say a
is
house
there
like
any
this,
ways you can write that for me so I
no,
can?
you write it down, Sabrina.
it's been recorded.
Yeah, we can play it
No,
back.
or you can show me and like how we can, I mean,
Well, like you can do it like, so for example, we can do it for our own properties. Like that's what he means. So for example,
okay, I see what
with
you
your Airbnb, that's what I mean. Like you can do it, we can do it where I'm making so much money right now with my Airbnb listing, right? We have our numbers.
yes.
Okay, well then give an example of, okay, now if we have to pay this hotel tax, well, how much money are we actually gonna make? Because if what's gonna happen if we have to implement this hotel tax, most of us will probably eat the cost because we're gonna have to lower our rates because people have a budget. And so at the end of the day, they have a hotel tax and the city is telling you, but you're not the one paying it. The client is gonna pay it. Well, yes, but when the client comes to actually book, and then once they're trying to book and then the taxes go off the roof because it's 17.5% plus the service fee that they're having to pay, well, then who's gonna pay that? They're gonna ask for a discount. They're gonna ask to, hey, can you guys work with us? So who's paying it? We are.
Yeah.
And that's what he means by actually showing them
Yeah.
the example of how much money we're gonna have to end up eating up, just like we eat up like cost of doing business, let's suppose. But this is gonna be a big portion of it. See, right now it's 6% that we're paying as a state occupancy tax, which is fine. The client understands that, oh, that's a tax. But when they see that that maybe that tax, it's even higher than your cleaning fee, that it's even higher than maybe the nightly rate or something like that, it's gonna be like, wait, hold on, like, why are you charging me so much? And then they always ask us, oh, hey, can you remove this? And it's like, well, we can't, we can't remove taxes. We can't remove the, certain fees. So that's what we have to show. And maybe that's going to be, we can work on that, on making this example for everyone to see how much money they're going to lose if they don't show up, if they don't email their city reps, if they don't call, if they don't voice, what it's happening, because it's gonna affect us all, regardless of if you have one Airbnb or if you have 100 Airbnbs. Like, this is gonna affect us as a whole, as a community, because we're the ones that are putting ourselves in this community, and we're the ones bringing people to El Paso. That's why we don't need to pay a hotel tax. They want us to pay a hotel tax because, the hotels are paid. And I think I remember at the news, someone that was in charge of the tourist section, she was asking for us to pay the hotel tax because they're bringing people to El Paso, and we should pay for that portion too.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they bringing to, right? Like what tourist attraction do we have? Or because every single time we continue to say, the people we're hosting, it's families. The people we're hosting are coming to visit their soldiers. The people we're hosting are coming to work. So your tourism that you say you're paying and you want us to, pay as well, it's not really coming to us. It's coming to the hotels, and that's why they need to pay it. But they have so many other sources of income that they don't care that they're paying it. So we do have to show how this will affect all of us. And now that I know right now you mentioned that you're bringing, your housekeeper, you're bringing all the people that help you. Because of the Spanish meeting that's going to happen March 1st, I'm actually calling other business owners that I continue to help. So I called my roofer, I called my plumber, I called my electrician, because guess what? If they shut me down, I'm not hiring you for any more service. And I gave them all 1099s this year. Every single one of them, I gave them a 1099 because I did, it's like, okay, I need this roof fixed. Oh, wait, now I need, maintenance. Oh, hey, the plumbing and the boiler and this and that. So I hired them. I think the plumber, we ended up paying like $7,000 in the whole year. That's not little money. For him, it makes a difference. I'm sure he'll be there, yeah. Exactly, right? It's like, okay. But that's what I mean, do reach out to those people that you do help support, because you help support their livelihood. That's what we're doing as a community. We help, put food in their table, and it's not for free. We're working for it. They're working for it. Okay.
We have to run. So thank you.
Oh, it's fine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Keep up.
We'll see you on March 1st.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's usually, at first you saw me being shy. Then when I start talking, I get passionate, and then that's what they meant.
Heidy, do you want to mention anything else about what's happening in the city with the city manager?
Oh
and
yeah,
the
so
Representative Cassandra?
I just found out that on Tuesday they're bringing up the city manager on the agenda for his employment. So it's it's item 23 on the agenda, and they're looking into, I'm thinking that they're looking into firing him. He costs the city almost $500,000 every year. That's his salary. He's been able to negotiate a pretty good salary. Like, that's really good for his career. But the fact of all the things that he's been pushing and how much money he's cost taxpayers at the same time, the property taxes have increased, I think, for the past 8 years because of him pushing for more taxes.
Wow.
Now, another thing that, he is pushing for hot tax. He's pushing that's January 18th, he was saying, oh, we need to tax them because they need to pay for their their streets to be fixed up. And then everybody's like, wait, what? What do you mean? Isn't that what our property taxes go for? So all of those, situations were like, wait, what's going on? Like, I thought our property taxes went for certain things. Like, why do you need to get a hot tax? Because you want us to pay for, and it's not true. It's not for safety. None of the hot tax portion goes to first responders, policemen, firefighters, nothing. It doesn't go to the city, to the streets. It doesn't go to anything. And so one of the arguments that they make during these meetings, it's like, well, yeah, but I'm only getting 30 cents on your dollar. So the city is complaining that they only get 30 cents on the dollar for them, and that everything else goes to our schools and goes to our hospitals. Well, yeah, it should, because those things are important, right? And I understand that there are certain things that are also, our streets, all of the things that we can get and provide, but by imposing a hot tax on us, no issue that they're fighting for, it's going to get resolved. And the only thing that it's going to come down to, it's like Norma mentioned, we're only going to help them pay for the ballpark because they're in a deficit, and they're trying to find who can actually pay for this. But now, like I mentioned to you guys, well, if they're going to make us be a business because they want to tax us as a business now, well, are they going to double dip? We're going to get property taxes, and then plus we're going to get a business tax? Well, which is it? What are we? Because you can't be just taxing and taxing and taxing property owners when we already have the highest property tax in the whole state.
And I gotta believe that people coming aren't going to dispute that tax, like, why should I pay that? When you're not a hotel, you know, your customers are gonna be like, I'm not paying that.
And that's the thing, right? So every time someone compares us to a hotel, you know, when you stay at a hotel, you kind of do have an idea of how much it's going to cost you. You do have like, well, it's going to be expensive, right? Especially the new downtown hotels that we have here in El Paso that we help pay as well, because it cost $40 million and the state gave them a $26 million rebate. Well, guess where the rest of that money came from? Us. So, you know, all of these things.
They're not gonna believe it, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna assume you're just trying to get more out of it.
Exactly. That's the thing. They compare us to hotels. They're thinking that, oh, well, you know, you go to a hotel, you know that you're paying a lot. You come to Airbnb, or, you know, you want to stay at a short-term rental. You want to save some money, but then you come and then we slap them with this tax, and they're going to believe that it's us trying to take advantage. But we're not, you know, it's just the city trying to find a way of actually making us pay for more and more and more taxes and pay for the deficit.
Do you know where the local business owners stand on this, like restaurants, bars, and things like that?
So that's one other thing that I'm gonna reach out to. It's because, you know, we as a community, we have kept a lot of the small businesses in El Paso that are local in business, especially during, you know, the pandemic, especially during, like, you know, we were out there supporting local. So that's another thing that we are reaching out to, you know, for Nuestra Nostalgia. I gave you some candy. So, you know, we are going to bring a lot of the restaurant owners to come up. But the reason why a lot of them haven't showed up, you know, the city hasn't offered us the Spanish translator until this meeting. And we have continued, Norma has continued to ask for it because we are a bilingual community. And I can't bring certain people because, you know, they get shy and they're like, well, I don't know English, I don't know how to speak. And maybe they do know how to speak, but they get shy, you know, speaking up because it's not their first language. So now that we have the opportunity to bring, you know, because we have that Spanish translator, you know, I'm going to bring, you know, the restaurant next door. I'm going to bring other people that I know that they can at least show up and feel that they can be heard and understood when they're talking. Yes.
I know, like, for example, with the Airbnb that Norma, you know, helped me get started. Well, on both of them, she made sure that she mentioned, like, Gussie's Tamales, Hiki's, and all that, because there's House of Pizza and all that.
New York Deli.
So I'm gonna.
Del pueblo, the speaking rock.
Okay, so I'm thinking that if we, as a community, as a short-term rental community, go to those businesses and say, look, I have you, when they log in, they look at all the activities and all the attractions and all the eateries that we have. And, you know, we're advertising for you.
I did it on a quick reply and it's neighborhood recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
So one of his quick replies is, you know, check in, check out the neighborhood recommendations. So after they're booked, I send the neighborhood recommendations to help them navigate their stay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I made him go up and down and say, okay,
And ask around.
Yeah, but if everybody did that, we could print that and show.
So I think most of us do it, but we do it on our guidebook, right? So we add the guidebook, and then that's where we have that. And
go to those owners.
yeah, I think that's what he's mentioning.
This is what we're doing for you. Like, for example,
And for free, right? We don't get any referral. We don't get any discounts.
I can assure you that the lady from Gussie's has no clue that I'm advertising for.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my point, to get them on your side.
Yes.
On our side, because I don't think government or those businesses care if we pay extra tax.
No,
What they care about is if you have.
if they're gonna lose money.
Right, there's lower occupancy and there's less people going to their business. So, because that's the end result, right?
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
When we go to them, what do you recommend to say to them, or to invite them to, or give them, or?
So I think that what I said to the people that I called, my plumber, I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. You're bringing business to them. So hey, I currently recommend your restaurant to all of the guests that come to stay at my property, at my Airbnb, at my short-term rental. Every single time I have you in my guidebook or I have you here, and I'm bringing business to you, and I'm really not asking anything in return. I want people to know about you. I want people to see the amazing food that you have and taste, and sell it in that perspective. But at the same time, we are going through this situation right now, and it would mean a lot if you can at least, even if you're there with them, like, let's call the city rep that it's for this district, and if there might not pick up. I get a lot of not pickups, but they can leave a voicemail. Hey, I am the owner of, Tamales Lupita, and, I'm not for any sort of short-term regulations because this will affect my business, because I will have less clients coming in that the short-term rental community is actually bringing to us.
That's why it's so important to have that great list. Because like, for example, the lady from Gussie, she's real busy. She'll say, yeah, Carlos, I'll take care of it, but dame el papel para dónde hablar, o dame el email. I don't have time right now. Okay, just make sure here's the phone numbers, here's the emails. I'm gonna give you a call at 5 o'clock when you close up.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to.
And I think that always at the end of the day, it's follow up, right? But if we can make it easy, I mean, if we can, take some time and just go, hey, let's just call really quick. And we can make that happen. The people that are actually here, the people that continue to show up, we can get those other businesses to advocate for us as well. Just like we're doing it for them. We're recommending them every single time that we have a guest. So why not? And this is you, Los Rancheritos and Korea House, that I always send people your way. This is for you guys. Yeah, I think we're good, huh? Yeah, all right. Well, we still have plenty of drinks, so, yes. So thank you guys again so much for coming and showing up, and, we'll see you next time.